Hi, thanks for joining me today. This video is going to focus on some yoga poses to help build upper body strength. It also works the core muscles too, but focusing more on thinking of building and having a strong upper body. One of the things we're going to really be focusing on is the position of the shoulders. So in poses where we're supporting our weight on all fours, like plank pose and table pose, we want to make sure that we have the arms into the shoulder joint. So we're not letting that upper body round forward. Sometimes we do that on purpose for a stretch, but thinking of those arms drawing into that shoulder socket, and I'll of course remind you of that as we go along. So we're just going to come down and do a little warm up and then get into our strengthening poses. So come to all fours, come to table pose, wrist under the shoulders, knees under the hips. The other thing that's important is thinking of aligning the skeletal structure. So we want to have the wrist under the elbow, elbow under the shoulder. And then when we're in this relationship, the knee right underneath the hip. So I find that ideal conformation. Think of the lowest ribs drawing towards the hips. And then as you exhale, round the spine up towards the ceiling or sky, get a nice stretch in the back of the body. As you inhale, let the pelvis tip forward, lift the heart and the sternum, take the gaze forward and up. So a little warm up for the spine here. Exhale again, round the spine, arching the back, nice flexion here in the spine. And then inhale, think of the pelvis rotating, lifting up and out of the neck and the shoulders in our extension. Couple more times. Exhale and inhale. Good. Once more, exhaling and inhale. And then come back to neutral. We're going to do a little warm up for the shoulders. So I'm going to face you for this one. We're just going to move in and out of thread the needle a couple times. So right arm out to the side. Inhale the right arm all the way up. Exhale, sweep the right arm under the left arm. Look under that left arm and then inhale, just come all the way back up. So just getting some movement here. Exhale, sweep the right arm under the left. And then inhale again all the way back up. Let's do that 2 more times. Exhaling and inhale. Good. Once more, exhale and inhale. And then gently let that right arm float back down and we'll just switch right to the other side. So inhale the left arm up. Exhale, sweep the left arm under the right arm. And then inhale all the way back up. Exhale, left arm under the right arm, looking under that arm. 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale, and inhaling, and exhale. And then this time, inhale the arm up, and then exhale, let that hand again come back down. So set up your foundation again. Make sure wrists are under the shoulders. Draw the arms into that shoulder joint. Think of the collarbones being nice and wide. Curl the toes under, and we're just going to start with a hovering table. So think of the lowest ribs drawing towards the hips and just lift your knees a few inches up off the mat. So building a little strength in the arms and strength in the core here. So again, find that breath. Inhale and exhale. Think of pressing into the fingerprints and the base of the knuckles. Take a little pressure off the wrist. Inhale and exhale. And then gently release the knees down to the mat. Uncurl the toes. Fold back to child pose just for a breath. Little release for the wrists. Reaching those fingertips forward. And then inhale, come back up to your table pose. And now bring the hands in front of the shoulders. Press again into the fingertips, base of the knuckles. Curl the toes under, lift the knees, send your sit bones up and back. Start with a bent knee, downward facing dog. So really think fingertips pressing down, base of the knuckles pressing down, pressing into the thumb and index finger. So here the shoulders are reaching up a little bit, the arms are overhead, but make sure your shoulders aren't crashed up around your ears. So think of the shoulders just relaxing a little down the back. They're not going to do like we did all the way in that table pose, but just think of that nice alignment. Now you can stay right here. This is great building strength for the upper body. A little bit more challenge. Put a little bit more weight down through the left heel. Inhale, lift the right leg up, 3-legged dog. Make sure you keep even weight in both hands and both shoulders. So don't let your weight all dump over to your left shoulder. Really press into that right hand. And then exhale, lower down. And then inhale, lift the left leg up. It doesn't matter how high you lift it, but think of keeping those toes pointing down. Keep even weight in both hands and both shoulders. Make sure that Left shoulder doesn't lift up. Inhale, exhale, and then release that leg back down. And again, release the knees to the mat. Uncurl the toes. Child pose, wrists release. Let the hands come back beside the feet. If that does not feel comfortable for you, keep your arms in front, but turn the palms up. Maybe a little wiggle of the fingers wherever the hands are, or a little roll of the wrist. And then come back up to your table pose. So again, making that conscious alignment, wrists under the shoulders, and make sure that also too, the wrists aren't too close together or too far apart. So we want to protect that shoulder joint. So wrist right underneath the shoulders. So this time extend the right leg back, and then the left leg back, come to plank pose. So drawing again, arms into the shoulder sockets. If you need a little bit more support for your lower back, drop your knees down to the mat, but still keeping that engagement of those arms and the core. Think of, again, lowest ribs draw towards the hips. So whichever variation you're doing, make sure you're breathing. Inhale and exhale. Again, another little bit more challenge if you'd like. You can be right here, knees to the mat, less challenge. Moderate challenge, knees lifted. A little bit more challenge if you'd like, lift one leg, press through the heel. Keep even weight in the hands, keep your core, keep your breath. Inhale and exhale, lower that leg down. And then inhale, lift the left leg up. Inhale and exhale. And then release that left leg back down. And then drawing lower belly in and up, sit bones up and back, come to your downward facing dog for a breath. Inhale and exhale. And now inhale, look towards the hands, come back to that plank pose, shoulders over your wrists, press through your heels. Let's do that one more time. Draw the lower belly in and up, move from your core, sit bones up and back. And then once again, come back forward, find that nice strength in that upper body. Now release the knees down to the mat. You can either keep your toes down on the mat or lift the feet, crisscross the ankles. As you inhale, nice length in the spine. As you exhale, bend your elbows, lower all the way down onto your belly, straighten the legs, forehead to the mat, hands beside your chest, hug your elbows in towards your ribs. So now we're strengthening the upper back in our low cobra pose. Press into the feet, inhale, lift the forehead, lift the upper chest, draw those shoulders down the back. Exhale, lower down. Do that a couple times. Inhale, pressing into the feet, lifting up. Exhale, lower down. Good. Strengthening all those muscles in the mid and upper back. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, lower down. Now extend your arms out by your side. Turn your head to one direction. Just let everything relax. Let your arms relax, legs relax. You can even do a little jiggle of the hips if you'd like. And then turn the head the other direction. Little release here. Another breath. And then come back to center with the head. So forehead again to the mat. This time we're going to make little spidey fingers and bring your hands beside your chest and then bring them off the edge of the mat. Draw the shoulder blades together. So we have this like little 90-degree angle with the upper arm and the lower arm. And then inhale, think of lifting from the upper body. Different variation of low cobra here. Shoulders slide down the back and then exhale, lower down. So inhale, lifting up. And exhale, lower down. Think of almost like a wave. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, lower down. Good. One more time. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, lower down. Now, bring your hands beside your chest. Hug your elbows in. Inhale, press up to table pose. And as you come to your table pose, find your neutral spine. And then exhale, round the spine to cat pose and stay there for a breath or two, because that's going to give a nice counter stretch to that sequence that we just were doing with that front extension or back bend. Inhale and exhale, and then come back to center. So one more little sequence here. This one's going to be a little better on the wrists. We're going to do some poses from our elbows. So from your table pose, bend your elbow and place your elbow down where your hand was, where your wrist was, and then place the other elbow down. Do a little alignment check. When you're in this position with the elbows on the mat, you should be able to reach for opposite elbows and just bring the top two knuckles of your hands to the outside edges of the elbows. If your arms are too close, That's going to not line up with the shoulder joint. And if they're too far away, same thing. We're going to put pressure on the shoulders. So make sure you have the wrists, or excuse me, the elbows right underneath the shoulders. So once you've done that, bring the forearms back out. Make sure your knees are right underneath your hips. And then I prefer, for me personally, to interlace the fingers for a little stability. You can also keep the palms on the mat with the forearms parallel, your option. We're going to extend one leg back, the other leg back, coming to a elbow plank pose. So again, this is a great modification for people who have issues with the wrists. It's still going to build that strength in the upper body, the shoulders, and the upper back. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Think of the lowest ribs drawing towards the hips. Press through the heels. Inhale and exhale. You can also bring your knees down to the mat, just keeping those core muscles engaged. But make sure you're not shrugging down from the shoulders. Lift up and out of the shoulders. Good. And then release the knees to the mat, release the hands, walk back again for a child pose just for release. Hands can be in front, or you can bring the hands beside the feet. Take a breath. Inhale and exhale. And then very gently come back again to that table pose. So one last little sequence again from the elbows. So land that right elbow, that left elbow down, check that alignment, make any adjustments. Right, make sure the knees are underneath the hips, palms on the mat or fingers interlaced, your option. This time curling the toes under, we're gonna lift the knees, send your sit bones up and back, come to a dolphin pose. Inhale and exhale. Again, this is a great pose for building strength in the upper body. And the hands, the feet can be more in kind of the, this is some, say, variation of downward facing dog. It does have its own name, dolphin. But if you like, you can walk the feet a little closer, bringing you a little bit more so the shoulders are a little bit more right over top of the elbows. Make sure your head's not touching the mat. Mine looks like it is because my hair is touching the mat, but my head is not touching the mat. Inhale and exhale. And then if you walk the feet in, go ahead and walk them back out. Again, you can do this with the knees bent or the legs straight. Make sure you're breathing. And then gently release the knees down. Release the hands if you had the fingers interlaced. And then once again, come to your variation of child pose. Maybe again, hands beside the feet, palms up, forehead on the mat. Or maybe arms extended forward, palms up. Inhaling and exhaling. Just notice how you feel. You might feel some warmth and tingling in the upper extremities, those arms and shoulders, upper back. And very gently slide the hands back beside the knees and roll yourself up to a comfortable seat, either on your heels or cross-legged, whatever works for you. And we'll do just a little last release for the shoulders, little sun breath. So inhale, float the arms all the way up. Exhale, release the hands down. Good. Inhale again, arms float all the way up. Exhale, arms release down. So this time again, arms float all the way up. Bring the palms together. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Bow the head towards the hands, maybe close the eyes for a moment. Couple breaths, inhale. Again, just notice how you feel. Inhaling and exhaling. And then very gently, as you're ready, let the eyes open. So thank you for joining me today in that little adventure with some upper body strength. And as you noticed, those poses that work our upper body also work our core too. So double benefit there. But strong upper body, for those of you who ride, very important. Not that we're muscling our horses around, but we have that stability and strength in our upper body that we can keep our proper alignment in the saddle. And again, that core strength helps that also. So do please give me a thumbs up if you like this video. If you have any questions or comments, put those in the section below, and then check out my information about Grey Horse Yoga and other classes and workshops that I teach. And I hope to see you sometime soon in the saddle or on the mat. Thanks. Bye-bye.